Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Thursday. Today is part 2, colonoscopy part 2, the procedure. So yesterday was a very, very long day full of a lot of liquids, liquids going in and liquids coming out. And after I went to bed last night, it was probably, I think it was like 3:30 or so. I had intended to wake up at 7, but I woke up at 6 to pee. And when I wake up in the middle of the night to pee, I usually sit, probably because, you know, I'm a little woozy and I'm tired, so it's better for stability. So I went in and I sat down, and as soon as I sat down, my body was like, "You poop now." So I did, and then, long story short, I did not get back to sleep. It didn't happen. I remember I was on the toilet for like 20 minutes, and then I was like, okay, I think I'm good. And I went back and got in bed, and then I was in bed for like 2 minutes before my body was like, "You poop again." And so I got up and I pooped again. So by the time I was done with the second one, I was like, it's almost 7. I'm just going to get a shower. So I desperately needed a shower. I just felt gross. Funny how pooping like 30 times in a day will make you feel gross. So I was able to get a shower. And then we did breakfast stream this morning, which was early because we normally do it at 9, but we did it at 8. And, we had a good time. I don't know if all of the audience had a good time because I mostly talked about yesterday, but it's fine. They knew what they were getting into. And now I'm on my way to the procedure. It's at the same place that I had the endoscopy. It's being done. It's actually not being done by the same doctor. Did you know that?
Yes.
You knew that, okay. They moved it up, and it's with a different doctor, and that's how they were able to move it up. But if I do this, then I can have my results with my normal doctor sooner, something. Anyway, so that's what's happening today. I feel fine. The prep yesterday went pretty good, all things considered. My biggest thing is probably that I'm hungry. You know, like I'm a little nauseated, but I think it's mostly just from like hunger. I'm a little hungry, so I would like to try and get something to eat after, whatever that may be. Don't know how long this will take, but probably not a whole lot of time.
It's normally like 20 to 30 minutes unless they need to do like a lot of biopsies.
Okay. Because the endoscopy takes like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
I figured that this wasn't a super long thing either, but probably longer. And I'll report back in a little bit when I'm all done. Hello again, friends. I want you to know that I have this on true auto white balance, and if the white balance changes, that's okay. I have just finished my colonoscopy. It is 11:23 a.m. Unlike the anesthesia that I received for my appendectomy, I remember everything.
You don't remember everything for the upper though, right?
I remember everything, not during the procedure, I was out, but I remember everything that since I woke up. I felt you come to very quickly. I feel like this is going to be very deja vu for anyone that watched the endoscopy vlog. Also, there's a slight paranoia that I didn't hit record. I did. Okay. Yeah, it's fast. You know, with the appendectomy, they wake you up and you are super fuzzy. There's a no % chance you're going to remember the very beginning, and then as time goes on, you're kind of in and out of consciousness. That's not the same with this. This is the prophet doll. And the prophet doll, who was, I think, the protagonist of Jonathan Colton's song, he spoke to me, and he said that I was going to remember everything, and I do. I had little conversations with the nurse, and I don't know what it is about my intubation. This is how I would be when I was drunk. I've never...
If you ever got drunk.
I've never consumed alcohol, but I feel very certain if I was drunk that my goal would be to make people laugh. I even told the nurse that. I learned all the nurses. I learned all the nurses. Kimberly brought me back, and then I talked to Vicky, who took my information. And then after Vicky, there was Arlene and Jerry, who came in, and then I met the doctor. And whenever I woke up, I was in Stephanie's care. Everyone did fantastic. While it's fresh on my mind, although in some regards it may be arguable that it is not fresh on my mind because I am probably slightly loopy, but loopy not in the sense of that I can't remember things. Loopy in the sense that I am not inhibited to...
You're not.
I am currently not inhibited to speak. I when I woke up with Stephanie, I told her, I said, there is not... I said, I have a tendency when I wake up from these things, I said, to try and make people laugh. I said, there's not enough laughter in the world. And I said, in particular, I said, in the medical field and the education field, I said, people don't laugh enough. They're dealing with hard days. I said, you guys probably have few hours ahead of you. And her and the doctor said yes. And I said, well, I said, I'm not here long. I said, but I'm going to try and brighten your day just a little bit. So I've done that, and I said, at some point, I remember Stephanie saying, would you like any juice? And I said, I gotta get some apple juice. This is what I always do. And then at some point I realized I did not have the apple juice. And I said, Stephanie, I do recall possibly there was a conversation very recently in which you promised me that there would be apple juice. I want to make sure with you that I did not drink that apple juice. And she said, no, Mr. George, we're about to get it. And I said, okay. I said, there's not very many things I look forward to in life. I said, apple juice tends to be one of them. And then whenever I got out here in the car, Mallory reminded me that I bought a big jug. I don't know what the measurement was. I'm going to say a large jug of apple juice that's waiting for me at home. And I guarantee you that it is not quite the same as having it.
A tiny can.
A tiny
bartender can.
After having a procedure. Apple juice tastes better after a procedure. You heard it here first, folks.
Well, you
take
have a
that with
whole
you to the grave.
half-gallon left to drink at home.
Unless you're planning on doing some procedures to me, then it's not quite the same. Well, it'll be wear off. So anyway, I don't get to talk to the doctor. You get to talk to the doctor. I don't know what the doctor said. Stephanie told me that they did not find anything.
No, they did not see anything. They said visually everything was good.
Son of a, and this is where I would swear if I did that. But by taking the break, you know what I meant.
Here's the thing, though.
What's that?
He said that he got in there as far as he needed to, and he said he took some good biopsies. And he said this will either rule in or out Crohn's. And he said because he didn't see anything visually, that doesn't really mean anything. Yeah, so this is honesty hour. This is where I can finally talk, because I don't believe that I've said this on the vlog or breakfast stream. This is information that I have deliberately kept from all of you because I don't like to talk about things that we don't yet know. And as I share this information with you, I also ask that you take this with a grain of salt. Do not in your brain file Stephen George has Crohn's. But when they did the CAT scan, that was the thing that was written in the CAT scan. That was the information that I withheld, is that it said possible Crohn's. I don't know that I have Crohn's yet. You're going to have to really, follow my recommendation here that you do not put in your head that I have Crohn's. I do not know that. And if everything looked good inside... That is the current hypothesis, but everything did look good inside.
Yeah. Now, I told Stephanie when I woke up, I said, I am very upset. I said, because I was hoping when I woke up they'd say, oh man, you had something wrong with you. Mm-hmm. and I don't, and that's extremely frustrating because I'm like, something is wrong, like...
I mean, the way they diagnose irritable bowel is by ruling everything else out.
I know. So at the very end of this, I'm going to possibly be given the diagnosis of irritable bowel.
Yeah.
And I gotta be really level with the audience here for a minute. I am absolutely terrified that at the end of all of this, all of these tests, they are going to say you have irritable bowel syndrome and everything was brought on to you by stress. And the reason that freaks me out so much is that like the way in which I exist now in this world is how I exist, and perhaps it was initially triggered by what happened with Mao. That's a possibility because she was going into surgery, last November, and I was worried about her. But if I am continuing to live with this, if this is a byproduct of stress, something will have to change. I don't know what, but something will have to change because and don't get me wrong, I'm very proud of myself. I've made drastic measures this year to reduce the stress load that I was under. Anyone that's watched the vlog for any period of time, or Stephen Place, or anything that I've done, known that I have just about killed myself over the past 10 years to make things. And I've slowly, over the past few years, tried to gradually decrease that, and I've made huge strides this year. I'm proud of that. But if this is stress, more will have to change. I don't know what that means yet. It could mean that the content itself doesn't change, but I'm going to have to give more responsibilities away. And what I mean by that is, like, for example, right now,
you schedule everything.
I'm the person that schedules everything. In the future, I may not be able to do that. I may very well be the person that appears on camera and does the things on camera, and that will have to be it. And I don't like that. I'm not a fan of that, but I got to do what I got to do. And again, I don't want to speculate too much. I don't want to speculate. Everything you've heard, just kind of a grain of salt.
Because, it could still technically be your gallbladder, right?
Could it?
You still have 2 tests you haven't done that this sort of doctor does.
The CAT scan said my gallbladder was fine.
Your gallbladder could be at working levels, but still not where it used to be. So
really,
that is a possibility.
Okay.
So you have 2 tests you could do technically yet, and one is a pill cam. The other is a HEDA test, but even then...
Am I still going to get to eat this godforsaken...
Watch, it's like the last test they do, and they're like, oh, that's what it is.
So wait, I have a very vague understanding of all this. So the endoscopy goes in the front hole. Colonoscopy goes in the back hole. Is there something somewhere in the middle that they just can't reach?
Yes. That's why you take a pill cam. That's what the pill cam is for.
Let me check. I'm still recording. Okay. So one of the downsides, I've been doing the phone. I've actually, folks may not have even noticed, I've actually been filming on the phone for a while now. I've been doing it on the phone for the past few months, primarily out of convenience. I love the FX3 and I love the cinema camera and I love the look that it gives. However, the convenience factor wins out. But it tends to get hot. Yeah.
What do you want? I know you're hungry.
Right this second, I'm not hungry, but I'll probably be hungry soon. I was told that I don't have any particular dietary restrictions.
Correct.
But I should not eat. Which is really the Stephen George way.
I know it is.
But yeah, I should have just a little something.
You want like a croissant, breakfast, egg, and cheese? You want a biscuit? You want a chicken
It's 11:30, so that's not really a thing. You can get it at Sonic, but in my personal experience, Sonic fans, I'm sorry, the breakfast at Sonic sucks. This is like limited inhibition Stephen talking, and I'm aware of that. But like the breakfast at Sonic sucks. Maybe I haven't had the right thing, but like there are so many better places to get breakfast than Sonic. And Sonic serves it all day as if they're proud of it. They should be reducing the amount of time. Sonic should offer breakfast for 2 hours.
Live.
No, I want to be able to catch anything I say in post. I want to be like, you know what, Sonic? You know what, Sonic? You know what you need to do? You need to close your restaurant, Sonic. Sonic is fine. Like, their burgers are fine. And I like their tots. And they've obviously have good drinks. That's what they're known for. But the breakfast, Sonic, maybe it's time to let it go, bud. Like, I don't know what the other, I haven't tried every breakfast menu item, but I have tried several in the past. And I ain't been real impressed. I really ain't. I would rather go to McDonald's, and that says a lot.
So where would you like to go?
I don't know. I'll figure it out. So the last thing I filmed was in the car. We grabbed a Bojangles biscuit on the way home. Just because that was what they said. They said, I can eat anything I want. I need to probably eat a little bit less. So I had a little biscuit. And then I was super exhausted. And I fell asleep for 4 hours. I haven't pooped actually since this morning after the shower before I went to the appointment. So I don't know that I'm nervous about it, but there's a part of me that's like, it just feels weird, man. It's like many years ago, either in 2015 or 2016, I had a cystoscopy, and peeing after that was, I mean, it was like it was one of the most painful things I'd ever experienced. I don't think that's going to be what this is like, but that experience primed me to have some low level fear about it. So I'm just kind of like, I'm not looking forward to it, but I don't have to go yet. So I'm just kind of waiting. But yeah, I had that sandwich. I slept for 4 hours, and now I'm back up. And my mom was just here. She actually dropped off a witch sandwich, which I appreciate. So thank you. And I just ate half of it. And I'm drinking, and this might blow people's minds, Gatorade. Because we bought 128 ounces of Gatorade, and we only used 70, so there's still a bunch left. Some people might be like, don't you associate that with medicine? And the answer is no, I never tasted the medicine. So...
You're probably dehydrated.
And I'm probably dehydrated. I probably need the Gatorade anyway. So I'm like, yeah, Gatorade's delicious. Fine by me.
You know what else happened today?
What else happened today?
You got a present in the mail.
I got a present?
A present in the mail.
What does that mean?
Do you remember your Christmas gift that I said we should order at some point?
Oh, the pretzel thing.
I ordered it earlier this week and it arrived today.
Oh.
So you have pretzels later.
Oh, I'm allowed to eat those, right?
Yeah, I mean, you can't eat all of them.
Well, yeah.
But you can have some of them, yes.
Okay, well. I might have a pretzel tonight then.
There's also...
What else is there?
When I ordered it, they were like, hey, we're doing a special. You want these things for $1? So there's something else too. That's not pretzels.
Okay. Anyway, as you probably suspected from me sleeping 4 hours, I was super tired. I didn't get enough sleep last night, obviously. And I don't feel great. I don't feel like I'm not in pain. It's not that I have any pain or anything. I just kind of feel like I've been through a lot, you know, like mentally and physically, just like, I just really want to rest. And, you know, I'm the type of person that as quickly as I can, I try to get back to what I was doing, back to work. And even I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to kind of take it easy today. And I'm going to eat this sandwich, and I already have stuff scheduled for tomorrow. I don't know. If I go upstairs, it's going to be later. I might just sit downstairs, maybe play a game or something, and just try and relax today. A little time later, and I got a shower, which helped. Just because anytime I think you have any sort of medical thing done, a shower, I don't know. For me, it's like a mental reset. So I feel like I've had a mental reset. Earlier, Mal was talking about the fact that not only did my colonoscopy happen today, but also the Christmas gift that Mal wanted to give me is here. It's not that it took 4 months to arrive. It's just that we had so much going on at the beginning of this year that Mal has kind of waited until now. But it's here, and it's a big old box of pretzels. What's the company?
Eastern Standard Provisions. Top left.
Eastern Standard Provisions. So Mal, you want to just kind of run over like what all this is?
I don't know how many, but there are these.
Yeah.
There are these.
Yeah.
There are those.
Yeah.
And then we come over here.
Oh, there's even more over here.
There are these. These are the same. And then there are all of these, which are also all the same.
Okay.
And then there's all of this.
So there's also...
So there's different pretzel salts. Like this is standard. Mm-hmm. This is lemon rosemary. Triple cheese. Sugar.
French toast sugar.
And then there's strawberries and cream.
Wow. Okay.
And then this is a dip that you mix it with sour cream.
Yeah.
And it's black truffle parmesan.
Okay.
Kind of like a... What's the dip that you...
Beer cheese.
No, I'm thinking of a cold thing.
Oh, I don't know.
What's it called?
Ranch.
French... No, it's like an onion dip.
Onion dip.
French onion dip, something
Sure,
like that.
I don't know.
And then there's these. So this is sweet and zesty mustard, Maui onion, and then chocolate fudge.
Wow.
And then when I ordered these,
Yeah.
they were like, "Hey, you want to sample these two things for $1?"
Well,
And I was like, "Yeah."
what is it?
They are chocolate covered Belgian waffles.
Oh, wow, yeah.
I put them in the fridge because they looked a little melty.
Yeah. Oh, I
So-
bet those will be good. So are all these pretzels like, are they all the same? They're just different
I
shapes?
believe they're all the same flavors.
Okay. Oh, and this actually explains...
Reheating.
Okay. Neat. So this is, Mal gave me 2 food things for Christmas. She gave me the, popcorn thing, which we actually still haven't tried all the flavors for that. We'll get to that. Probably want to wait a little bit on corn for my stomach, but we'll get back to trying some of those flavors soon. And then the other main thing was this, and we just kind of put a hold on this until now. But yeah, I would love to end today with a little special treat for me because I had a day, man.
You have to decide what you want, though. Like, you have to decide which of the toppings you want, which of these you want, which pretzel you want, because we should probably freeze
everything but the
basically, everything that you want for today and tomorrow, besides that.
Okay. I don't know. We'll choose something. These look delicious. So, what did you put on them? Is this just the normal salt on them?
No, this is not the normal salt.
It kind of looks like the rosemary.
It's not.
Oh, it's not?
Mm-mm. I don't know if I put enough because it's hard to judge when you've never had it.
Mm-hmm. This is a very good pretzel.
Isn't it, though? It's the cheese.
The cheese salt. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it probably could have used a little more, but I do taste it.
Uh-huh.
We've also got the mustard to try. Mm-hmm. Let me try some of this mustard. Now, which one is this? Is this
Sweet and zesty.
Sweet and zesty mustard. Well,
They're better pretzels than the ones I made.
as advertised, this is sweet and zesty. Man, I love pretzels so much. This is a nice end. This is a nice end to today. The last 2 days have been a little crappy, pun intended, and I'm probably still going to feel a little off for another half day or so. But I'm happy to have it done, and I should know in 7 to 10 days what the results were because they did some biopsies inside, and I hope I learned something. You know, that's the goal. I feel hopeful that I'll know something because this is the last test. We've done everything. But we'll talk more about it in the next 2 weeks. Thanks for watching. Let's meet back tomorrow, shall we?